is boiling, boiling in me. Someone is toying.
Hi everyone, I'm back. I'm back with the part 2 to the part 1 of the health and fitness is a lifestyle. I wanted to come back and talk about the fitness side because I already spoke about healthy eating and my views on it and my opinions on it. I didn't really mention the fitness part of it. I thought I would save that for another video. Like I said, I kind of just touched on in the other video about starting with what you're eating, how you're eating, you know, healthy and fit starts in the kitchen, and that's where I started it. So the second part would be the fitness part of it. Now I know this probably could be the harder side of it because, you know, eating habits can be pretty easy to break if you find things that you like that are good for you. So, you know, if you find things to replace it, it should be easy to break your eating habits. But I find myself that the exercise side of it is a lot harder. I mean, I've been doing the healthy eating now for like 6-7 weeks. Oh, this is the 7th week now. And the exercise part of it is kind of been more so 2 weeks. So, you know, it's something that you have to keep on working at. You can't just kind of stop because you will just get used to not exercising. I mean, I know it's thinking, where do you get started? What do you do? First of all, you could think about, okay, are you going to go to the gym? Can you afford to go to the gym? What it is, lipstick on my teeth. I apologise at any point if you see lipstick on my teeth. If you're going to go to, like I said, if you're going to go to the gym, if you're going to work out at home, if you're going to ride a bike, you know, there's different ways of getting fit. And, you know, I've found that, you know, money is tight these days, so you need to find things that are within your budget that you can do, that you know you can easily do. And also it's the mental side of it as well. So are you going to get up in the morning and go to the gym, or are you going to go home from work and then go to the gym? So, you know, you need to first of all think about what are you mentally prepared to do, and then second of all think about obviously the money side of it. They kind of tie in together basically, because one without the other. You know, you could be ready to want to go to the gym 5 times a week, but you might not be able to afford to go to the gym 5 times a week. And basically I can't really afford to have a gym membership at the moment, and actually I find the gym quite boring. I mean, previous years I used to go to the gym and stuff, and I felt good after, you know, I do a really good workout, go in the steam room and sauna. That's probably the nicest part of it. And I'd feel really good after, obviously sore, but you know, you kind of feel like you've accomplished something. But I found it a bit boring, and I used to go by myself. And yes, it is better if you do go with a friend, because, you know, you have someone to push you, and if you're going to do weights, you have someone to kind of watch you and all that kind of stuff. But it depends on what type of person you are, because if you're motivated by yourself and determined, then you're going to work out by yourself, and you don't, you know, that wouldn't stop you from going to work out, is not having someone to exercise with. You could go to classes, you could obviously run outside, work out in your back garden, in your house. And the easiest suggestion that I would make to start off with is to go fast walking or go jogging. That is a good way to introduce yourself to exercise, in my opinion. It's a good starting point. And then also as well, you can work out at home. There's lots of videos on YouTube that you can follow, show you moves that you can do. So you could follow some of those, get yourself some home equipment. So for instance, like I got myself this exercise mat, it's a body sculpture mat, and this was like $3.99, which is quite cheap. I got some arm weights which look like that, so they've got like the little hand grips on there, so you can just use them like that. These are, I think they're about, are they 1.5 or £3? They're not that heavy, but saying that, once you work out, once you're doing a move, so say you was doing like squats and doing a curl, then after 10, 20, 30, these start to feel heavier. So you don't want something too heavy to start off with. You want something that you know, you can kind of use, and then, you know, change it after a while to challenge yourself. So, you know, I got a set of these, and these were like £9.99, which isn't too bad, and they're quite comfortable and they're quite good quality. So that, and also skipping rope as well. And this is very good for cardio, getting your heartbeat up, getting your, you know, kind of kickstarting your stamina. Because if you haven't been working out for how many years, and then you try and do exercise, you know, you're going to find it hard to keep up for long periods of time. So practicing skipping for 2 minutes at a time, a minute, 2 minutes, is quite a good way to break you in. And this one actually has, if you can see that, actually has like a time, calorie, how many skips you've done, which is quite good, because, you know, you can monitor what you're doing, so it's telling you how many calories you're burning, which is always good. So yeah, so 3 simple pieces that you can use at home. So the exercise mat, the dumbbells, and the skipping rope are 3 things that you can use to do a home workout. And I found that they've helped me, as I'm not going to the gym daily. I'm just doing a class once a week. I go and work out in the park once a week, and the rest is home workouts. So yeah, I think also as well, I think the classes, I mean, I've been to Boxercise, I'm going to try a body combat class as well. That should be pretty good. So I think it's good to have a variety as well, so you don't get bored, because if you're just going to the gym every day, you know, it can get a bit boring, so you might want to switch it up a bit. Like I said to you, the home kit is good, it's probably the cheapest, because you can work out at home. You just got to make sure that you're motivated to do it. You don't just come home and think, oh, I'm just going to sit on the sofa. You know, do 30 minutes, you know, at least, you know, get your body working. Get the muscles moving. So the home kit is the cheapest. If you can afford to go to the gym, and you like going to the gym, then do that and try out some classes, because sometimes they're pretty cheap. I mean, a lot of them are like £5 maybe a class. You know, you could do that once a week, and they're quite fun, because you're having someone else kind of instruct you what to do, so it can be quite enjoyable, and you do get a good workout. So I would recommend the classes as well. But like I said to you, it's just about being money conscious, and obviously being conscious of where you're at mentally, you know, what you're prepared to do. So yeah, so basically those are the starting points that I would do to get into the exercise. And, you know, once you see results from, you know, from eating right and exercising, I'm sure that will fuel you on to carry on. And like I said, it's a lifestyle, so, you know, trying to make it part of your everyday thing. Like I said in the previous video, you know, like you have a shower, like you wash your face, you brush your teeth, you have breakfast. Try and make certain things part of your everyday routine, and that's what I'm working on right now with the whole fitness side of things. I'm trying to work it into my daily routine. Also as well, something that I didn't touch on in the previous video, I was talking about eating healthy and trying to find things to substitute things that may not be good for you. But I also wanted to talk about, someone actually reminded me, because I did think of it, but they kind of reminded me, and it was about healthy eating being expensive. And, you know, I've heard a lot of people say this, and it's like, sometimes people can use it as an excuse to not eat healthy. And, you know, I understand that times are hard right now, people are struggling. So, you know, if you're trying to survive, then you're not going to think, oh, I'm going to go and buy spinach, I'm going to go and buy this, I'm going to go and buy that, because, you know, if it's costing more than food, because technically food is something to give us energy, and a lot of the time we consume more than we need to. So, you know, I understand that people just want quick and easy things, and cheap as well, but that's down to yourself. I mean, there are ways to do healthy eating. Like, for instance, I will make a big salad. So whatever you want to put in there, lettuce, spinach, cucumber, tomato, spring onion, whatever it is you like in your salads, you know, make a big bowl of salad, and that will last about 2, 3, 4 days, depending on how fresh your ingredients are, and that can just sit in the fridge. So you can take it out and you can have it with your lunch. So you can have You know, you can have some tuna on there, or you could have some boiled eggs, or you can put it with accompany it to a meal, or you know, it's in the fridge, it's there prepared for you already, and you just need to take it out whenever you want to. Things like your fruit, so if you know you're going to eat a lot of fruit, and if you're the type to eat smoothies, you can buy your fruit in bulk, so buy it for the week, 2 weeks, chop it all up and freeze it so that you're not actually wasting any. So you could do that. Vegetables, again, if you want to buy fresh vegetables, and you can chop them up and freeze them if you want to, or you can buy frozen vegetables that are pre-packaged, and you know, you can just microwave them. There are little ways on the, you know, things that you can do to kind of make it that little bit easier. It doesn't have to be too expensive, and understand that eating healthy is a more expensive lifestyle than just eating what you want, basically just eating anything. That's how it's going to be. You know, you can go and buy a bag of frozen chips from Iceland for £1, and a bag of nuggets for £1.50 or something, and you could eat that all week. But you know, like I said to you, it's down to you as a person, what kind of lifestyle you want to have, your health. You know, if you want to look after your body and you want to feel better in yourself, you know, then, you know, invest in that little bit more, invest a little bit more money into your health. You know, you can go out there and you can buy clothes, and you can buy shoes, and you can buy handbags, watches, cigarettes, alcohol. You know, there's things that people like to buy that aren't contributing to their health. You know, the alcohol and smoking side of it, we don't need to get into that, but you know, that is very costly and it's very damaging to your body. So if you can go and spend money on that, why can't you go and spend money on, you know, on healthier foods? Clothes and shoes, they're just things that you wear, they get worn out and you throw them away, but your body is something that you have for you know, for as long as you're alive. So try and put good stuff in there. You know, don't be afraid to spend a bit of money on good fuel to put in your body. That's basically how I see it. But I just wanted to touch on the money side of it a bit, because you know, it's all involved. Nothing's free these days, but there are little ways around it. So I think that's it for the fitness side. Like I said, you know, you can go to the gym, you can get a home kit and work out at home. You can go to classes, you can run outside, you can go to the park. You know, eating healthy can be cheaper. I think the little tips that I gave you, you know, there's ways around it, and there's things that you can do to make things that little bit easier. But anyway, that concludes the health and fitness as a lifestyle. So hopefully that helped and you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.